Alrighty everybody, welcome back to Ghoster Coasters, and today we're going to discuss Top Thrill 2 in a bit more detail, some of the rumors going on surrounding the ride, recent articles written about the ride, some of the responses to the downtime, and of course some more interesting tidbits making their way through the grapevine, continuing to add more layers to Top Thrill 2's extended closure, with many thinking the ride could open by Coaster Mania, and others thinking it could take until July or even later into the season. And of course, the crowd of fans clamoring that it should have been intimate, growing louder by the day. And to be fair everyone, we wanted intimate, but Zamperla will be able to figure this out, we think. A huge shout out goes out to all of our Coaster Ghostin' channel members for helping bring all of this content to you, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join the spooky community today. And if you're interested in the history of Top Thrill Dragster and Top Thrill 2, be sure to check out Race for the Sky, a documentary on our channel covering over 20 years of history with Top Thrill Dragster to Top Thrill 2. We'll be watching Top Thrill 2 and its reopening for the next few weeks and covering every bit of news that comes out surrounding the ride. So give this video a thumbs up and let's launch into this video. Keep arms down, head back, and wait, launches aren't happening, so let's just get into this.
With the recent night tests happening at the amusement park, many guests were building anticipation for the ride's reopening, and rightfully so. I mean, some users pointed out they saw a box near the trains, and a day and a half later, test runs were going on at night. Reasons to be excited, right? Coaster Mania creeping up in a few short days, and everybody was anxious to see if Top Thrill 2 might be included on the ERT for real this coming weekend. But according to many users out there, that does not seem to be the case. An article written by Screamscape, which we must say take any articles written and videos like ours with a grain of salt. We have no idea if what they are hearing is true or not. Just reporting.
The article says,
itself.
so considering this an advanced warning, you might actually see Top Thrill 2 testing in the near future, but if you do, know that this is not a sign that the coaster is going to open anytime soon. I know those of you who are signed up to attend Coaster Mania are hoping this will happen, but it won't. From what I'm led to understand, a train is being made ready to make test runs so they can watch and study the issues that took place in order to create a future redesign that will address some of the problems. So again, if you see Top Thrill 2 testing, it is not being prepared to reopen in any form for riders at this time, and especially not for Coaster Mania.
So this leads us down the path of why they were testing in the middle of the night. And as some users mentioned, it could be to not rile up the anticipation as much when you run tests during the day. Guests may get excited, of course, and at night there's a lot less chance a bunch of coaster enthusiasts are up to record the footage. Or so the park may have thought. Back to why at night. With the reports that Cedar Point and Zamperla aren't ready to open the ride just yet, and some reporting that the tests were simply being done to test for potential reasons why the wheel carriers were showing signs of wear earlier than intended, or looking for other things, as we still aren't certain exactly what's going on. But with Ryan the Ride Mechanics videos, it seems like we have an idea it's the wheel carriers. And with those tests, it seems Silver is testing for sure. But others have said they saw the black train as well. Not really certain on that though.
Top Thrill 2 began testing in early December, and many guests, including ourselves, figured the kinks with the ride would be worked out, and that probably was the case heading into preview day for the park. It's unfortunate that issues sometimes arise with coasters, and Top Thrill 2 exerts some insane forces on the trains when cresting that top head at 120 miles per hour, flying down the drop, going up the spike. It's incredibly hard to assert those forces on a train beforehand and truly know how everything is going to hold up over a long period of time. Simulation testing is one thing. The forces on the train sometimes aren't the same as simulations. The park and Zamperla are likely working to figure out the why and come back with a permanent solution. Remember everyone, happens.
If the ride were to reopen earlier than these rumors have been suggesting, it may be because of the reasons that El Toro Ryan laid out in his recent Top Thrill 2 video, stating that the park and Zamperla may opt to get the coaster up and running, with Zamperla supplying replacement parts throughout the season at a likely costly price in order to ensure the train's components that they were looking at are being taken care of properly while a long-term solution is figured out and remanufactured by Zamperla. But with those wheel carriers looking beefier, who knows what's going on? Maybe it's a temporary solution to support the current wheel carriers until they can manufacture an entire new setup for the trains. Time will tell, but let's hope it's open sometime soon. Everyone is hearing the Intamin crowd. And look, we were part of it, everyone. Trust me, we hear you. Let's get into that real quick.
With some park goers and enthusiasts beginning to lose faith in Zamperla, and others who never had faith in them from the beginning, the pressure seems to be mounting for this ambitious 420-foot stratocoaster in the eyes of some. Many are questioning why Intamin wasn't involved with the success of rides like Pantheon and Velocicoaster, whether B&M had proposed their own concept for Top Thrill 2 and what that could have looked like, what Mach's idea was for the coaster, and who else might have pitched ideas that Cedar Point might have considered over Zamperla. These are all valid questions, especially since this is another prototype roller coaster for the park. However, Cedar Point has always been known for pushing boundaries and creating rides by challenging manufacturers to exceed expectations. With engineering marvels often come challenges, but patience may ultimately reward Zamperla, Cedar Point, and all of us coaster enthusiasts.
As we covered in our documentary about Top Thrill Dragster's history, the ride was problematic beforehand, and many wondered why the park would go back to prototype issues for a ride. We're leaning on the side of giving Zamperla more time here, everyone. I mean, let's be honest for a second here before bashing away. Top Thrill Dragster went down for an extended time during its opening season 2, and went down a lot during that first year. Yet, everyone remembers the first rides, the first launch, and their first experience on it. With, of course, the reliability issues we all had to figure our way through in order to get on this skyline-altering coaster. And 5 years from now, if Zamperla figures out this issue, we may look back and all have a big laugh about the early hiccups and just remember all of our rides on Top Thrill 2 over the years. We just really have to wait and see before declaring Zamperla a failure. If the Intamin pitch rumors are true, and it only included a 250-foot spike, everyone would have destroyed Cedar Point for going so small. But again, that's unconfirmed and probably never will be. Just hearsay throughout the coaster community.
Top Thrill 2 comes on the heels of many other rides being down at the moment, with Indiana Beach suffering from downtime with the All-American Triple Loop, and of course, Thorpe Park struggling with Hyperia at the moment as well. We have to remember these things happen, and it isn't exclusive to Cedar Point or Zamperla. Rides are tricky and finicky. It is tough to operate these things. Kudos to Cedar Point and the maintenance team again for catching the issues with the trains before anything ever went wrong.
With the park beginning media days on April 26th, preview days on April 28th, along with Coaster Mania keychain previews, Gold Pass holder days on the 30th, and the park opening May 4th and being open the 5th, 6th, 9th, and 10th, that gives Top Thrill 2 a total of 8 days, just over a week of total operation. After all the testing over the winter, it really does make you wonder how this happened. And again, kudos to Cedar Point's maintenance team for catching the issue early enough to address it. The closure on May 11th and announcement on May 12th felt a little too familiar for the ride, and the moments we all got to experience on the ride almost feel like a blur that didn't happen or a blip in reality that we all got to experience.
Top Thrill 2 brought a ton of smiles to the faces of guests who have experienced it so far, and most who haven't are awaiting the official announcement from Cedar Point about the ride's opening to book their first trips to the amusement park this year. Many have postponed trips while others like us have continued to go. Top Thrill 2 is great and all, but Cedar Point is an amazing park and a fun place to be regardless of the downtime of some rides. Take a trip to Cedar Point, get on your favorite roller coasters, and let the countdown begin till we can all keep arms down, head back, and hold on once again on Top Thrill 2.
Also, one more thing before we go. The new launch tree has 5 lights, and the top hat still has 4. I'm just saying, Cedar Point, there's room for one more set of lights below the original 4, and we can make this launch sequence line up. But in all seriousness, we're hoping Top Thrill 2 is open sooner than some of these recent rumors are indicating, and can't wait for our next rides on the one and only skyline-altering, double, 420-foot structure having 100 mile per hour backwards launch Top Thrill 2. We can't thank you all enough for following along on this journey with Top Thrill 2 and all of the crazy things with the ride.
If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join the spooky community today. We have more Top Thrill 2 shenanigans, park history videos, spooky season coming up, new ghost hunting videos soon, among many other things. Consider becoming a member today. Every single member gets a shout out in all of our videos, thank yous in every long form documentary we make, behind the scenes videos, and some podcast type content coming exclusively for our channel members to listen to us talk parks answer all of your questions, and go over some of the best comments that we get on our channel.
As always, thank you for being a part of our spooky community and for Coaster Ghostin' with Ghoster Coasters.
Have a Six Flags day, everybody.
At America's Rock and Roller Coast, we coaster ghostin'.